If you want to feel more calm, confident, and connected in your life, the Love Your Real Life membership is for you. Members love the simple daily challenges that help create small, consistent actions that lead to the change that they want. And then the live sessions that are throughout the month that leave them feeling grounded, relaxed, and supported. There's a link in the show notes to join. I would love to see you inside of this membership. Welcome to the Love Your Real Life podcast. I'm Faith Lauterbach, and this is a space to help you heal, rebuild, and create a life you truly love, even if it looks different than you imagined. Each week, I'll be sharing tools, encouragement, and real conversations about what it means to move forward after betrayal, heartbreak, or simply life not going as planned. I am honored to walk alongside you and help you love your real life. Hi, friends. Before we jump into today's topic, I just want to acknowledge something. If you clicked on an episode about forgiveness, there's probably a story behind that. A hurt, a question, a wound that you're trying to understand. You're in the right place. And today, we're going to unpack this topic with compassion, honesty, and zero pressure. So welcome to today's episode. We're going to be talking about forgiveness after betrayal. Forgiveness can be incredibly complicated in real life. Most of us were taught versions of forgiveness that don't actually align with how real healing works. So today I want to untangle some of those things and offer you a perspective that's empowering for you. Because forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook. I want to share a definition and description of forgiveness that I feel like aligns with wholeness, that aligns with healing, and that aligns with learning to love your life. Okay, here it is. Forgiveness is the intentional choice to release the emotional weight of someone's hurtful actions so that the pain no longer controls your present or your future, without excusing, forgetting, or reconciling. So forgiveness means letting go of the resentment you've been carrying. Forgiveness means releasing the emotional attachment to the wound. Forgiveness means choosing peace instead of replaying hurt. Forgiveness means freeing yourself from the grip of what happened. Forgiveness does not mean that what happened was okay, that you have to ever trust that person again, that you have to restore the relationship if you don't want to, or that you have to pretend that it didn't hurt. Many of us grew up or maybe heard phrases like forgive and forget, just let it go, be the bigger person. But forgiveness isn't this switch you just flip. It's not a performance. It's not a sign of moral superiority. And it's not something that you quote unquote should do. Forgiveness is deeply personal and it takes time. It requires honesty, not forced positivity. If forgiveness has ever felt like pressure, you're not alone. You're not doing it wrong. You're simply human. I can tell you from my own experience that I wanted to be the kind of person who could forgive pretty quickly. I really, really did. I thought that if I can forgive, then that will help everything else go smoother. I wanted to rush through this because to me, forgiveness meant that I could get to my new normal quicker. I didn't want to feel resentment. So I thought forgiveness was the answer to that. But I couldn't honestly do it at that time because I really needed to work through some of these things before I could do it authentically. And so we're going to talk about what those things are. So maybe something you believe is that if you forgive somebody, then you're saying what happened is okay. I feel like this is one of the biggest misconceptions of forgiveness. The truth is, you can forgive someone and still acknowledge that what happened was wrong. Forgiveness doesn't rewrite the past. It really just releases your attachment to carrying the weight of it in your future. Sometimes people think that forgiveness means reconciliation. What I want to say about that is reconciliation involves two people. Forgiveness involves one. You can forgive someone and still choose distance. You can forgive someone and still maintain boundaries. You can forgive someone who never apologizes or changes. You can forgive someone and never have to say those actual words to them. Because forgiveness is about your peace, not re-entering a situation that isn't right for you. Now, some people do want to reconcile, and that's okay too. But I think it's important to know that you can forgive without it. I like this approach. Forgiveness heals the wound. Reconciliation decides whether the relationship continues. And both choices can be valid when done in a loving and very intentional way, even if they don't happen together. People often imagine that forgiveness is this single decision that you make. I thought this in my experience. This is what I thought. I thought, I'm going to say, I forgive you, and then I don't ever have to think about it again. But in real life, it's a process and more complex than that, unfortunately. Sometimes it just comes in these waves. Some days you feel free from it, and other days emotions resurface and you wonder if you're back at square one. People are complicated, and the aftermath of infidelity is really complicated. So there are things that maybe you felt like you had healed it from, and then something else happens that makes you feel this betrayal all over again. So forgiveness can sound like, I thought I was over this. Why am I feeling it again? I've already forgiven them. Why does this memory hit so hard? Or why is this still affecting me? And that's normal, healthy even. This is the process of it. Forgiveness is not for another person. It's not for anybody else. Forgiveness is for you. It's for your heart. It's for your body. It's for your nervous system, for your future. It's the moment you decide that your peace matters more than reliving the hurt. It's choosing freedom over resentment. It's choosing healing over bitterness. And it's choosing your real life, the one you're building now, over the one that broke you. When I was in the aftermath of all of this, I said so many times, I will never be in a relationship again. I can never trust someone again with my heart. And I really, really believed that. But what I realized was that holding on to the pain in that way hurt no one but myself. To not allow myself to feel love again, that would have been punishing me. I did find love again. And I will tell you, it was very scary in the beginning, terrifying. But if I would have completely shut that part off because I had been betrayed, I would have missed so much joy in my life. When we hold on to resentment or betrayal, our bodies carry it. We can feel it in the tightness of our shoulders or the heaviness of our chests, the way we guard our heart, the way we brace for things to go wrong. Forgiveness softens those places. It creates emotional space to heal. It allows you to live fully again. It helps you see your future without everything being filtered through the lens of what happened. Forgiveness empowers you. So, if this all sounds great, but you're just wondering how in the heck to even start, I want to share with you a few gentle ways to just begin this process without forcing anything. So, the first step is start by acknowledging what happened. You don't have to rush through it, you don't have to pretend you're okay, and you don't have to minimize the pain or what you went through. Forgiveness begins with truth, not this pressure. So, you might say to yourself, or you might write in a journal, I didn't deserve to be treated that way. It's acknowledging the truth. The second step would be to separate the person from their choices. So you can release emotional attachment to someone's actions without excusing them and without inviting them back into your life if you don't want that. This gives you freedom and protects the boundaries that you need. So that could look like, again, you can say this to yourself, you can say this out loud, you can say this in a journal, but something like, your choices impacted me, but they don't get to define my life. That can really feel like just taking weight off of your shoulders. The third step is to let your body be part of the healing. Again, mind, body, spirit, we're all connected in these ways. And so finding ways to incorporate your body in this process can be really helpful. That can look like placing a hand on the part of your body where the hurt sits. Maybe it's your chest tightening. Maybe you can feel it in your throat. Maybe it's your stomach. Take slow breaths. Let your body know that you're safe now. Sometimes forgiveness starts there, in your body, not your mind, where you feel it. So maybe that sounds like this tightness in my chest is where I've been holding the hurt and placing your hand there. The fourth step is to rewrite the narrative that you've been repeating. So maybe instead of something like, what they did ruined everything, try, this hurt me deeply, and I'm still choosing to build a life I love. This shift is powerful, and it honors your pain and your resilience. The fifth step is to allow forgiveness to be imperfect. You don't have to have closure to forgive. You don't have to feel peace every moment, and you don't have to get over it. You only have to take the next step toward releasing what no longer serves you. Saying something like this to yourself, it's normal for old feelings to resurface. This is part of the process. If you're able to, let's go ahead and just take a breath. Place a hand over your heart and inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. And let these words settle. I release what no longer belongs to me. I choose peace. I choose healing. I choose a life that feels real. Forgiveness doesn't erase your story. It empowers you within. As we close today, I want you to hear this clearly. Forgiveness is not weakness, it's not pretending, and it's not forgetting. It's choosing your own peace over carrying pain that was never meant to stay in your heart forever. You don't have to do it perfectly, and you don't have to do it all at once. We're just going to take one step toward healing at a time. And I'm honored to walk with you as you do. Thank you so much for listening to the Love Your Real Life podcast. I hope that today's episode was just what you needed. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're looking for more support, check out the show notes for how to connect. Remember, no matter what your story holds, you are worthy of living a life that you love. Talk to you soon.